Hey, welcome back. Listeners, today we are looking at some fascinating data coming out of the Korean stock market and shifting corporate regulations. First, let's talk about retail investors, often referred to affectionately here in Korea as gimi or ants. They are increasingly staying up all night to navigate market volatility. According to the Korea Exchange, the average daily trading volume for KOSPI 200 night futures reached 13.65 trillion won in March. That is a 15.6% increase from February and nearly 2.8 times higher than what we saw last December. Individual investors accounted for 3.28 trillion won of that daily average, making up roughly a quarter of the total volume. Folks, this shows a clear trend. Investors are using the night market, which runs from 6 p.m. to 5 a.m., to hedge against global events and predict the regular morning session based on overnight U.S. market movements. Moving over to corporate regulations, the IPO screening process is getting stricter. Following the implementation of the revised Commercial Act, the Korea Exchange is now asking unlisted companies to cancel their treasury stocks, known locally as jasaju, before requesting a preliminary IPO screening. Previously, it was a common strategy for companies to allocate these treasury shares as public offering shares to raise funds, but that avenue is now essentially closed. And speaking of treasury stocks, announcing a buyback or a cancellation used to be a reliable way to boost a company's share price. However, recent data suggests that policy is losing its effectiveness. According to the Korea Exchange, out of 160 listed companies that announced treasury stock plans this year, 45% actually saw their stock prices drop a month later. For instance, Leon Robotics saw its shares fall 31.17% a month after announcing a stock cancellation, and Studio Dragon fell 18.86% a month after announcing a share acquisition. The implication here is clear. Without fundamental earnings improvements, structural stock policies are no longer enough to satisfy investors. Finally, over in the M&A sector, Taekwang Group has officially emerged as the sole negotiating party to acquire K-Shipbuilding. That's all for today's deep dive. We'll be back with more insights. You've been listening to the Korea Economy Brief, straight from the front page of Seoul Economic Daily. Thanks for tuning in.